Ready.
All right, let's call the meeting to order.
Hilda, will you please do roll call?
Mayor Ambrose Fernandez,
Present?
Commissioner Lazar Guajardo,
Present.
Commissioner Bobby Carrillo, Commissioner Ramiro Caballero,
Present.
Commissioner Daniel Chavez,
Here.
Commissioner Ricardo Medina,
Present.
and Commissioner Itza Flores.
Present.
We have a quorum.
All right.
Move to excuse absent members.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes.
Commissioner Guajardo, will you please lead us in the pledge and invocation? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dear Lord, thank you for the opportunity of being here today to continue giving service to our city. Enlighten our minds so that we can continue making the proper decisions for our city of Pharr. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Item 2A, proclamation proclaiming Hunger Action Month, and I believe we have some folks here from the food bank.
All right, okay.
Perfect.
You guys want to come up and say hello?
Hello.
Hi.
How y'all doing today? Thank you
Good,
for
how are you?
having us.
Yes.
I'll let Omar actually do the talking.
Hi, I'm Omar Rodriguez. I'm the manager of grants and advocacy with the Food Bank of the Rio Grande Valley. I just wanted to thank you, Mayor, and the commissioners and the city staff for supporting us for many, many years. And September is actually one of those important months where we highlight hunger here in the valley and across the state and the world. So wanted to thank you all for your support. And just to give you an update, we are still feeding up to 64,000 people on a weekly basis right out of the old Valley Food Company building. So we are a big operation, and we really can't do it without the help of the community and without volunteers that come out every day. And just one reminder that we do have our biggest fundraiser on September 17th. The Empty Bowls, it's going to be our 14th year. It's going to be at the Pharr Event Center. So I wanted to invite everyone out there to that event, and tickets are on sale on our webpage.
Which is the one you have at your actual building where you have dinner and wine?
Yes, the farm dinner. We're going to
That's
have
different.
That's different, yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes. But
All right.
that highlights our
Well, they serve very good food. I've been to it, so
thank you very
just
much.
want to make sure it's clear. So whereas Hunger Action Month is celebrated and observed from September 1st through the 30th, and whereas Hunger Action Month provides hunger awareness and volunteer activities for the citizens of the city of Pharr and communities in the Mid-Valley, and whereas Hunger Action Month is hosted by the Food Bank of the Rio Grande Valley Incorporated, that works to educate families from the city of Pharr on nutrition and wellness, and whereas the Food Bank of the Rio Grande Valley Incorporated, the 5th largest food bank in the state of Texas, and the 40th in the country, feeding up to 64,000 individuals per week via 275 partner agencies operating in the city of Pharr, and contributes to the health, well-being, and quality of life of the community of Pharr. And whereas it is in the 14th annual Empty Bowls Luncheon being held at the Pharr Event Center in Pharr, Texas on September 17th during Hunger Action Month. And whereas the good health and well-being of the residents of the city of Pharr are enhanced as a direct result of Hunger Action Month and the Food Bank of the Rio Grande Valley Incorporated. Now therefore I, Ambrosio Hernandez, Mayor of the City of Pharr, Texas, by virtue of the authority vested in me and on behalf of the Mayor and the City Commission, do hereby proclaim September 2019 as Hunger Action Month. In witness whereof I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Pharr to be fixed on this third day of September 30th, 2019. I'm sure you're gonna have a great, successful event, because you get packed house, and it's a great endeavor. And you know, you guys service the entire Rio Grande Valley, to be honest. I mean, I'm glad you guys do it, and we're so fortunate to have you in the city of Pharr. So
Thank you very
you want to come up here so we can get a photograph with you guys? I'm gonna get up there.
Yeah. You got here just in time.
You know I won't miss this one.
Alright guys, ready guys? Over here. Ready, 1, 2, 3. One more, 1, 2, 3. There you go.
Right, action, item 2B, proclamation proclaiming, honoring, and remembering September 11 at PSJ Southwest Early College High School.
Mr. Marquez and Ms. Burton.
Good afternoon.
Welcome,
Mayor,
good afternoon.
City Commission, thank you for having us. We're honored to be here, and we're honored to have this proclamation. I'd like to thank you for all of your support over the years at Southwest Early College High School. For this particular event, we're commemorating the solemn event that occurred on 9/11, terrorist attacks. It's a day when we bring together first responders, members of our community, our student body, to commemorate this solemn event. And we appreciate your support as always. We look to continued partnerships with the city and with the city staff. Mrs. Burton, would you like to say?
Yes, again, we will be honoring our first responders that day, along with our students. It does make it a real event because most of our students were born after September 11th. So when that's important to understand, because when we talk to students about this is an important event in history. They don't have that connection. So it's very important to have this event every year, especially for our students.
So after I read this, Ms. Burton and Mr. Marquez, I'd like to, at the end, for you to expand on the two projects that you guys are working on with the city of Pharr. If you don't mind making comments on that, so the entire city will know what the Southwest High School is contributing with the city of Pharr to its residents.
Yes,
When
sir.
I'm done with this, all right? Whereas the city of Pharr and all of its residents desire to express their sorrow to those who lost their lives on September 11, 2011 in New York City, Washington, D.C., and Pennsylvania. And whereas the land of the free, while grief-stricken, became one nation united, resolved, and determined. And whereas the terrorists not only attacked the American institutions and cultural history, they also attacked American principles and we the people. And whereas the city of Pharr and PHA Southwest Early College High School honor individuals and families who were directly affected by the September 11th, 2001 tragedy. And whereas we, the American people, will keep the flame of freedom lit for those Americans that died in this tragedy. And whereas the city of Pharr, its neighboring cities, and the PHA Southwest Early College High Schools also honor and recognize local heroes who contribute to improving the quality of life for everyone here at home. Now therefore I, Ambrosio Hernandez, Mayor of the City of Pharr, Texas, by virtue of the authority vested in me, and on behalf of the Mayor's Office and the City Commission, do hereby proclaim September 11th, 2019 as honoring and remembering September 11th at PHA Southwest Early College High School Day. And when is here whereunto I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Pharr to be affixed on this third day of September 2019. Okay, let's get this up here. You guys want to step up here so we can photograph? We're not going to get on this because they spread this photo.
Alright guys, ready guys? Over here, ready? 1, 2, 3. One more, 1, 2, 3. There you go. Thank you guys.
So we're referring to the Drainage Solutions project?
Yeah, so for the record, obviously you're the principal at Southwood High School, Mr. Marquez,
Yes, sir.
and Ms. Burton. Alongside you, your comrade in arms there. So the city is in the process of making a lot of improvements. And one of the most significant one is drainage of the area. We've already, as a county, already moved forward with the bond, so we can make sure that we took care of our entire city. But that only covers a smart aspect of it, not completely. And the city will be talking to its residents to make sure that we finish up the piece that's missing. That way we have a substantial coverage of the entire city. With that said, we also looked for partners, one being the county, right, with the drainage district, and the other being yourselves. So you want to educate the public in what we're referring to?
Yes, sir, we're happy to. We're very proud of this endeavor, which our students have personally taken on. Many of them were personally affected by the flooding that occurred last summer. And we challenged our students. We started with our seniors, but we extended it to even our incoming freshmen this last summer, to find real-world problems here in our community and to develop real-world solutions. So we began that a year ago when we kicked off our business and community partners luncheon, where many of you were present. Many of those same people were able to participate in a capstone expo in the fall of last year. And they worked with our students on supporting and mentoring them through these capstone projects. This summer in particular, one of them really took off, and that was through our architecture class with Mrs. Honnold. She's the instructor. Mrs. Burden was a crucial piece in putting that together. She's a real go-getter, and you know our Dean of Instruction. You tell her one thing and she runs with it, so she's amazing. The kids were able to actually, through their architecture class, create drainage solutions that were also beautification projects in our community. They did some research on low-lying areas, engineering concepts that needed to be implemented. These are things that are even beyond my understanding, because that's how sharp these kids are and how well taught they are in the classes. And they each developed in small groups different proposals for projects in the low-lying areas where we would have things like a graffiti park, a skateboard park, which would be engineered in such a way that they would, at the same time as they would beautify the area, they would help drain water away from the area. I think Mrs. Burden has been working more closely with those kids, and she can probably tell you a few more details, so if you don't mind, I'll pass some time to her.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're taking kind of a different approach at Southwest. If you think back, and we work with our teachers all the time, we say I don't know what Secretary of Education said this, but I'm not quoting exactly, but he said that we're preparing students for the future to solve problems that we don't even know are problems yet. So our 21st century learners, we have to get them to come up with solutions. And I want you to understand that when I went to those students, you know, I was personally affected as well, even though I do not live in South Pharr. We were in the shelters helping out. So we saw our kids in there who really lost everything, and it's a very difficult and emotional experience to see families that you care about so much who lose, and they're in that position. So when we went to see our students, we said, look, you know, it's flooding. What should we do? You know, and I want you to understand that the students we worked with, these are not top 10 students. We did not handpick these students. I had students who were limited in English, students who had not been necessarily successful in classes. We even had a couple of students who were serviced in special education. But we have to really, you know, it's about having these high expectations for all kids. And I wasn't sure what we were going to get, and that's what I think we're coming to all the time with our students. We don't know what's going to happen. We gave them this problem. We worked with Ms. Honnold, who is an architect, and they came up with a topographic map that was 3D, because I think step one is understanding why it floods. So really seeing it, because I also didn't understand why. Now I look at the swells in the land, and I see the sides of the roads, and I understand it a little bit better, but I don't think any of us really understood that. And then next, coming up with solutions that these 21st century learners, I would never have thought about coming up with a skateboard park that, for a 15-year-old, that makes perfect sense, right? So they like that, but a skateboard park that has sand in it at some portions on the sides so that the water sinks in. It's a brilliant idea. So this is what the students did. Now, I think they're also in discussions right now to work on a plan for a park.
That's right.
Yes, so we're in once you left, actually, something else happened. Our feeder schools, our elementary schools, they were like, hey, we want to get involved in this kind of stuff. So that's the amazing thing about starting these projects. It's kind of like a domino effect, but in a positive way. So we had Garcia Elementary approach us, which has an IB program. And again, IB for all, so that doesn't mean we're handpicking the children. So, and they said, can we get involved in that? Can we also help out? We have some land beside us. We'd like to come up with a plan. So I think it's a good thing. Great
Yes.
things are happening.
Absolutely, yes. And we're very pleased with we have a couple of high schools, a couple of school districts in the city of Pharr. And there's no question the most prominent one that's been proactive has been PSJ. Vanguard has helped us out with one park, so they're coming in, and we also challenge, obviously, IDEA, Valley View, and Hidalgo to step up and partner with the city so we can do things to help their students with real-life experience. I think it's going to be a phenomenal job that you guys obviously are going to do with the drainage. We already saw it.
Yeah.
We'll be talking to our residents about that. It's obvious that the North Park, Southwest High School is already taking ownership of it. So they'll be helping us with working with our contracted architect, Ms. Laura Warren,
Yes,
to make sure that that gets enhanced with the fingerprint of Southwest High School. And I don't doubt that our other high schools will be jumping in and help us out with our other community projects that they really should own because it affects them. So I just want to be, number one, thank you for coming today, and thank you for your leadership, Mr. Marquez, with the Southwest High School and students for helping the city of Pharr with all its endeavors.
Thank you so much for your continued support. We couldn't do it without you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, moving on to public testimony. Hilda, do we have anybody registered for public testimony? No one's registered, okay. Moving on to item 4, public hearing. We do have a public hearing, the first public hearing for the solicitation of comments from the general public on the 2019 tax year proposed property tax rate for the city of Pharr. Do we have anybody registered? Nobody's registered. Or Hilda?
Do you have anybody signed up?
We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Oh, we're not there yet. That's, no,
No, sir. Okay.
it's okay. It's okay.
Okay, so,
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, okay.
Not for this one?
for later?
The other meeting. Okay.
So moving on to item 4B, public hearing on development service cases. Do we have anybody sign up for that? No? Okay. City manager report, as you all know, the city engineer's report is in your packet. We do not have any city events to report for this meeting. Moving on to consent agenda, item 6. All items listed under consent agenda are considered to be routine, non-controversial. Need a motion?
Motion approved.
Second.
Any further discussion? I was all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes.
Item 7A, consideration and action of any on resolution into an agreement with the Texas Department of Transportation for temporary closure of streets for the city of Pharr First Responders Festival on Saturday, September 28th, 2019. Staff recommends approval.
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes.
Item 7B, 7B, C, and D, we do recommend that we go into executive session,
B, C, and D?
B, C, and D.
All right.
You want to do that, or?
Yeah, let's go, we'll take care of that. In accordance with section 551.071 through 551.087 of the Texas Government Code, the Pharr Board of Commissioners hereby gives notice that it is convening into executive session to discuss the items listed in the public portion of the meeting agenda. The time is now 4:23. Okay, we're back. The time is 4:45.
All right, item 7B, consideration and action of any on resolution adopting the water rate study completed for the city of Pharr by Raftela's utility consultants. At this point, we're just adopting, accepting the water rate study that was done.
Okay,
Moved.
So moved.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes.
All right, we'll move on to.
C?
Yeah, sorry.
Consideration and action of any on the ordinance amending ordinance number O-2015-40, prescribing new rates for water service, first reading, as recommended in executive session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes. D, consideration and action of any on ordinance amending ordinance number O-2015-39, prescribing new rates for sewer service, first reading, as discussed in executive session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes. So, for clarification, where the city is having great growth, that's good, but with that comes some headaches with called infrastructure. We have aging, plants, and we have aging pipes, and infrastructure that needs to be addressed. There are large capital investment the city has to do, and that's where we're going to go ahead and address them now, rather than having to be forced to do it. We want to be proactive about it. Also, this is also a project that Raider Nation will be adopting. Raider Nation has moved forward on challenging the city to be able to allow its students to be part of this endeavor for the entire city. So the Raider Nation, under the principal, Ms. Diaz, Lisa Diaz, will be heading this project with our vendors, who will be obviously designing it, but the students will get real-life experience along with side by side. And this will now be referred to as the Raider Nation project for the city, water project for the city of Pharr. Anybody else want to comment? Otherwise, we'll move on the agenda. Okay?
All right, item 7F, consideration and action of any on ordinance amending ordinance number O-2017-33, development services fees.
I know.
Sorry,
We'll be back to it. I'll be back to it.
So moved.
Fee schedule.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes.
Sorry
E.
about that. Item E, consideration and action of any on ordinance amending number O-2018-37, rental of city facilities. First reading.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes.
All right, item 8A, consideration and action of any on change order number 1 for the City of Pharr International Bridge Facility Expansion and Renovation Project, number 1819-70-510-C77, 395. Staff recommends approval.
So moved.
Second.
Abstain.
What is it that, I didn't get a chance to look at this project. Are we changing, are we going up on the expanse? Are we adding something or going
All
down?
right, so
What are
we're
we-
replacing, we're removing and replacing some roof, remodeling the restrooms, installing larger windows.
Oh, okay.
It's also adding 65 additional calendar days to the plan.
Got it. All right. Any further discussion? Was all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes.
Abstain.
One abstention.
Item 8B, consideration and action of any on change order number 2 and change order number 3 and final payout for the Pharr Public Safety Communications Building. This is the final payment and change orders number 2 and 3 for the communications building. As you all know, this is a Pharr Communication building located on the frontage of 281, and we're finally paying that out.
Okay, where's
Danny?
Danny?
Danny.
Danny, can you come up? Some of the public wants to know what exactly that building is. You want to enlighten the public and what,
For the record, my name is Dan Ramirez. I'm the Director of Communications and
Yes, sir.
Deputy Emergency Management Coordinator. So the building is our new Pharr Public Safety Communications Center. It's where we'll house communications. And we're not just the City of Pharr Communications, but we are a regional center. So we dispatch for the City of Penitas, the City of Penitas PD and Fire Department, Len San Manuel Progreso Fire Department, and also for Pharr PD and Fire. We're also going to house our Emergency Operations Center for the city, and it's also going to house the IT department for the city. And it's state-of-the-art. There's nothing else like it south of San Antonio. In fact, at a last meeting we had with some of our state officials, they want to make it the showcase for the Rio Grande Valley. So when people come visit, they're going to come to our center. That's what we are.
very nice. And also, it's my understanding that in any direct way, the School of Medicine is involved with your medical director, and that way they at some point may be involved when it comes to some trauma service line that they're
Right.
doing. for
So,
Rio Grande Valley.
So currently, we'll have a medical director because we'll be doing what's called EMD, Emergency Medical Dispatch, where we'll be giving pre-arrival instructions when the citizens of Pharr call 911. We'll walk them through those steps on how to do CPR, how to do childbirth, if somebody's having chest pain, how to give aspirin. With that, there's also, at the Regional Advisory Council, which oversees the trauma systems, they need to put together a system for, it's called MedCom. So when they need to transfer patients to different level hospitals, we're hoping to get in there and help with that.
Well, that's great because we have one of our training programs is general surgery, and they need the trauma training.
Right.
But also, it's a great way to facilitate the movement of patients.
Yes, sir.
And get the exposure there. Number one, the care they need, and the exposure to the city of Pharr as well as being involved with the medical school.
And we'll have our ribbon cutting October 8th at 11 a.m. We'll
great.
have the official invite soon, but you'll hear it here. October 8th at 11 a.m. is when we're going to have our ribbon cutting.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Danny.
So all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes. Thank you.
Item 8C, consideration action of any on permission to advertise for financial advisor for capital financing through the Texas Water Development Board programs and authorizing city manager to enter into a contract for such services. City of Pharr was approved to submit a $19,080,020 loan in lift station improvements through the Texas Water Development Loan, Texas Water Development Board fiscal year 2020 Clean Water State Revolving Fund, and was invited to apply for the first round of funding. As part of the federal requirements, the city must procure a financial advisor in accordance with the federal procurement procedures. Basically, in order to get reimbursed or refunded the amount that we're spending on financial advisors, we have to issue the bids according to federal guidelines.
Okay.
Move for approval. Second.
Any discussion? I was all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes.
Item 8D, consideration and action of any on permission to advertise for bond counsel for capital financing through the Texas Water Development Board programs and authorizing city manager to enter into a contract for such services. It's the same logic as the financial advisor. We have to
So
go through
moved.
the bidding process.
Any discussion? Those all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes.
Item 8D, consultation action of any authorizing city manager to retain legal counsel to pursue water and or sewer certificates of convenience and necessity, CCNs, for the service areas.
Okay.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes.
Item 9A, consideration and action of any authorizing city manager to enter into an agreement with Dr. Raul Barreda for medical director.
Okay.
I had a question about that, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
I went through the qualifications of the doctor here, but I don't see anything that says that he has
Danny?
experience dealing with EMS.
So Dr. Raul Barrera is a trauma surgeon, but he's also sits on the board and was the former chair of the Regional Advisory Council on Trauma, which deals with all of the EMS providers in the Rio Grande Valley. And they set up the trauma systems, cardiac systems, and stroke systems for the entire valley. And he'll be the medical director for communications, the medical director for the fire department, and medical authority for the city of Pharr as well. And also help with direction at the police department when they ever have somebody that needs to see or needs an ambulance to make sure that we're following the right procedures.
Great.
So moved.
Second. Any further discussion? Those all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes. Thank you.
Item 9B, consideration and action of any on renewal of interlocal agreement with the Texas Department of Motor Vehicle for the SCOFLA services on vehicle registration records.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes.
Item 9C, consideration and action of any on authorizing city manager to negotiate and enter into a contract with Javier Hinojosa Engineering for the professional engineering services for the design and project administration of the sanitary sewer utility adjustments related to regional linear park, hike and bike, trail phase 2, Ridge Road, tunnel crossing conflict. Staff recommends approval.
So moved.
Second. Mayor, on,
May I? Oh, Commissioner, you go first. I'm sorry.
yeah, on this
You
one,
wanna come up
we
here?
are gonna get reimbursed for this, right? We're gonna pay it and then get reimbursed?
100%. That's the first
Good
question
evening,
we have
Mayor
for you.
and Commissioners. Omaran Saldoval, City Engineer for the record.
He's referring to the interlocal that we have for the utilities movement.
Correct. This is an interlocal with the City of Pharr and Precinct 2 for the relocations along Ridge Road. We're gonna be 100% compensated for any expenses, including engineering, construction. And so these are fully 100% reimbursable by Precinct 2.
And as part of our interlocal, when we agreed to the hike and bike trail.
Correct. This is part of, there's a utility crossing that's gonna be in conflict with the tunnel, so that that sewer line needs to be relocated towards Veterans Road.
And you have a couple of those, correct?
Correct.
And they're all, the same rule applies.
Correct. There's one on Cage, and that was done by in-house crews, and then the one on Moore Road, which was done by in-house crews, which we be getting reimbursed as well. We've been keeping tabs of material spent, labor, and we'll be sending a bill to Precinct 2 for those.
And it's also in that same interlocal that we were going to move the shooting range,
The shooting
correct?
range, correct. We're working on this conceptual plans for the shooting range, how we're gonna rearrange it, and we'll be presenting that at a later date for further consideration.
And it's the same parameters, whatever we spend within reason, right? We're not gonna overspend.
Right.
We're gonna create a brand new one. The interlocal addresses that expense, correct?
Correct. All expenses, engineering, construction for giving you a same or equal shooting range at the location of our choice
Correct.
will be reimbursed 100%.
And that all that was done because we wanted to enhance the safety of the hike and bike trail. And be
Definitely.
sure that it got done in the correct manner.
Definitely.
Okay, anybody have any other questions, comments? No? Okay, so, thank you, sir. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes.
Item 9D, consideration and action of any on agreement with Hollis Rutledge and Associates for lobbying services.
Move
That-
for approval.
So moved.
That guy?
Staff recommends approval.
He's awesome. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes.
Item 10A, discussion action of any on legal action concerning Pharr Original Town Site A track 1350 feet times by 100 feet north of and adjacent to right-of-way between Cypress Street, 7th Street, and Highway 281, 3.10 acres net. Staff recommends,
And,
I think as discussed in,
Section, and to the average person who doesn't read like me,
Yes.
doesn't read addresses like that, where is that exactly?
that is a Bowler Farm location right there on 281, or Cage and, 83.
So one right across here,
Next to the railroad
Subway.
tracks. Yes, sir.
Okay, in
So
front of
you're not
Margaritas.
familiar with the town site?
Not in that,
Oh,
I
okay.
I'll be the first to tell you I'm not.
So moved.
Any further discussion? Those all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We pass.
Just deliver the baby.
Motion to,
Motion to adjourn.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes. Thank you. Time is 4:56.